Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Monday, October 25th, 2021. We are in the first day of the new trading week, and we are in the final hour of the current trading day. The final hour of the current trading day is my favorite time to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions for my swing trades. And I say this because during the day you have the algorithms and you have the day traders. They are the ones that are in control of the price during that time of the day. In the last hour, the large financial institutions come in. They take control away from the day traders and the algorithms. They're dealing with the most money. They have very smart people. They have the best information and best technology. And I consider the closing price to be the most valid price of the day to make your buying and selling decisions from. And obviously you can't buy after the market closes, so I like to buy as close to the close as I can. I just consider it the most valid price, and I believe by doing so in the long run, it offers you a long-term edge in your trading. So thank you all for coming today. It's nice to see everyone. I hope you had a nice weekend. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're having a good trading day. And thanks for making the time to come by here. I hope by visiting this podcast, it is helping you improve your trading and your investing. So currently the Dow is up 66 points. It's up 0.19%. The NASDAQ having a big day up today, up another 148 points, up 0.98%. And the S&P is up 23 points, up about 0.5%. So here's the plan for today. First of all, we are going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back and take a look at my current swing trades and talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, and how I am going to manage them going forward. I did have a day trade on Apple today that I will share with you. After that, we are going to go over to the board and we're going to take a look at my students' current positions. Those all look like they're doing well today, so we'll take a look where they bought them, why they bought them, and how they are performing. After that, I will talk a little bit about trader psychology. Always, in my opinion, the most important skill you can ever learn in trading is creating a plan, following your plan, not letting your emotions stop you from following your process. After that, I have gone down through my watch list. I have gone down through the results of Kamal's scanner. I do have some potential end of day trades today that I'm looking at, that I'm considering buying at the close. And I have 3 requirements whenever I'm looking to enter a new trade. First, confluence, combination of indicators lining up on multiple time frames. Second, I have to have a good risk to reward ratio of at least 2 to 1. Third, I have to have a complete trading plan. A complete trading plan for me includes the following: position sizing based upon the current market volatility. Number 2, knowing what your emergency stop is. Number 3, knowing what your maximum allowed loss is. Number 4, knowing where your end of day stop is. Number 5, knowing where your intraday profit targets are. Number 6, knowing where significant overhead resistance levels are. And number 7, having a good trailing stop methodology in place so that if you have a profitable trade, you don't give it all back. So as we get closer to the close, I will go through all the potential end of day trades. I'll try to narrow it down to the very best one, looking at the risk to reward ratios, looking for the confluences of signals, all the things I just discussed. And if I find something that looks good, I'll buy it right before the market closes. After the market closes, if anyone has any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. If you need clarification on anything, I'm happy to clarify. If there are any stock symbols that you would like my opinion on prior to the close, just go ahead, put them in the live stream, and I will do my best to get to them before the market closes. And then lastly, if any of my students have any new entries or exits for me today that they would like me to update on the board, if you could just please wait till the end of the day, wait till the market's closed before you tell me about them. That way the pressure's off, market's closed, I'm done teaching, and then we'll take as much time as we need to get everything squared up correctly on the positions. Okay, so that is the plan for today. I am going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will see you in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, let's see who is here today. Hey, first on deck is Steve Burns. Good to see you, Steve. Hope you're having a good day, my friend. Thank you for everything that you do for this channel. I always appreciate it. I know everyone else does. I hope you, Holly, and the dogs all had a nice weekend. George Gonzalez is here. Nice to see you, George. Hi, traders. Good afternoon. I wish you good trades today. Well, thank you. I wish you good trades as well. Hey, there's my friend Kamal. Good to see you, buddy. Good chatting with you last night. Hope you are having a good day, and thank you as always for everything that you do for this channel, Kamal. Gary M is here. Good to see you back, Gary. Hope you're doing well and having a good day. Tracy is here. Hey, Trace, good to see you. Hello, Greg and everyone. I just saw a little video of Paxton in Las Vegas at the Raider game. Do you know how he's doing down there in his poker tournament? Good to see you. There's Frank. Frank, nice to see you, my friend. Hope you are having a wonderful day. Thank you for everything that you do for this channel as well. And then there is David. Good to see you, David. David says, hello, Greg and traders. All right, well, let's get to it. And let's start with Cisco. All right, we have Dynamic Duo, Leva, Michael Martin, Tom, Bacon Bandit, Frank, Ava, and myself. We did buy Cisco back here on the 19th with a 520 crossover and the V2. Bought at 55.65. It moved up nicely the next day. Did take some profits off as usual. When it moves up a certain amount, I always take a little bit off, lock in those profits. Friday came down. It closed below both the 5 and the 20. That is a signal for me to get out of half of my position, which I did on Friday because the price closed below both the 5 and the 20. Looks like the 5 is closing under the 20 today, so most likely I will have to go ahead and take my loss on this trade, which is from currently right now from entry to current price is 1%. So we have to keep those losses small, let those winners run, and that's what's going. But I will be exiting Cisco today as long as the 5 is under the 20. The 5 is 55.35 and we're at 55.38. So it's under. So I will be going ahead and locking in a loss on the Cisco trade. CVNA, well, Leva, David, Dynamic Duo, Gary, and myself. I like this trade. I had some hopes for it on Friday. We had a big move up above the 200-day moving average. Was too chasey to buy. We came back down on Friday, double tested the 200-day moving average, held the halfway of the bar. That was good confirmation that this trade was going to hold, but unfortunately, no. It's down 2.7% today. It looks like it's losing the 200-day moving average. So that will be my signal to get out. This particular trade, entry to current price, down 2.14%. KLAC. All right, Dynamic Duo and I did buy KLAC back here on the 21st. Higher low V1. Had a nice entry here at 333.97. Took off like a rocket ship on Friday. I remember I think I hit 7 profit target. No, 5 because I got out of half of my position. And so this one is up 0.87% today. And on the trade, this one is up 3.53%. Pfizer. Gary and I did buy Pfizer. Here, the signal was an under 30, over 30. Bought this at 41.32. Moved up nicely. On this bar, we rejected the 50 RSI. That was a warning sign. I took half profits off there today. This is slightly down today, 0.37. But as far as the trade goes, entry to current price up 3.86%. So pretty good on that one. Roku. I did buy Roku back here with a 520 crossover at 329.08. Moved sideways for a couple days and had a big move up. Did lock in some profits, obviously, on the big up days. Got to my 1.5 ATR trailing stop level. Then had a close below the previous day's low after reaching the trailing stop level. Sold that at about, I guess at about 333.38. Glad I did. Came back down Friday. The price closed below both the 5 and the 20. Similar with Cisco, I sold half. It is up 1.56% today. Looks like it might no, hasn't. I haven't heard the ding, so have not hit the profit target yet. But up on the day, but this particular trade, entry to current price down about 0.37%, but not really, because I locked in profits on the way up and I locked in half here. So it is up on the trade. SPY, I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I sell it first thing the next morning. I did buy SPY on Friday at 453.12, sold it for a profit this morning at 454.30. So that was nice. I will buy that again today at the close, hold it overnight, sell it first thing tomorrow morning. Visa, David, Bacon Bandit, Dynamic Duo, Jonathan Leva, and I did buy Visa with this nice confluence of signals here where we have a close under 200, close over 200. We had a V2, false breakout the downside, gave a good risk to reward ratio, bought at 225.07. It's 234.65. Did hit one profit target today. Did sell half here when we reached 1.5 ATR trailing stop level. Then I had a close below the previous days, locked in half there, but glad I kept half because it is up. And this particular trade currently up 4.08% entry to current price. And then XLU, Gary, Bacon Bandit, Leva, and I did buy XLU with this actually returned to value, kept halfway of the low and the high of this move. So from a Fibonacci standpoint, it made sense. Also rejected the 200-day moving average. Bought at 65.08. It is down 0.5% today, but this particular trade up 2.78% on the trade. So all those doing pretty well. I did have a nice day trade today on Apple. Earlier in the day, just kind of one of my standard trades on Apple, under 30, over 30. I bought it at 147.91. Had a lot of sideways motion. I had some chances to take some profit, but I was just waiting for a little bit more, and it turned out to be the right decision. So I bought at 147.91. I did take half profits here at 148.22. I took another portion of profits at 148.30. Another profit target up here as we approached the 50 at 148.52. And then we got up here, we had the 200, we had the 100, we're at the third ATR channel. That was enough for me out at 148.82. So got in at 147.79, out at 148.22, out at 148.30, out at 148.52, and out at 148.82. So that was a nice little trade there on Apple. And then let me, because I know Steve, let's see, get my trades out of there. 149.21. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, Control Z. There we go. There we go. So let's get on over to everyone else's trades, see how those are doing. So we'll start off with Apple. Steve did have a trade on Apple with the 1030 EMA and the 1050 EMA. He bought at 149.21. It's 148.64. So this one is down on the day and slightly down on the trade. Facebook, we have Leva. Leva bought Facebook back here at 323.97. Moved up nicely. I believe Leva sold half, but it is up nicely today. Facebook has earnings today, by the way, so keep that in mind. So up on the day and up on the trade for Leva. CRL, who is CRL? Steve bought CRL Friday with a 520 crossover at 420.98. It is currently 423.92. That's been a nice trade, up 0.79% on the day and about the same on the trade. The Qs, Steve bought the Qs with the 520 crossover at 368.78. It's 378.13. It's up 1.08% and nicely, beautifully up on the trade. ISRG, Steve Burns also bought ISRG with a 520 crossover at 339.11. And Dynamic Duo, it's 344.54. It's up 0.88% and up on the trade. Beyond Meat, okay, Steve and Tom did buy Beyond Meat, went green on the day. They bought the under 30, over 30. They bought it 95.13. It's 95.85. So it is up on the day, and it is up on the trade, more importantly. IWB, Leva used the 1050 EMA signal at 222.50 to buy IWM. It's currently 229.42. This is up 0.91% today, having a big day, and also up on the trade. AMD, Michael Martin bought AMD with this 520 crossover in the value zone at 105.17. It's up 2.55% today alone. This is a monster trade for Michael Martin. Congratulations. Boeing. All right, we have Kamal in Boeing. Back here at 213 on 916, moved up nicely, did reject the 200-day moving average. Unfortunately, we just had a down day here. So this is down on the day, and this apparently looks down on the trade now as well. DDM, Steve Burns did buy DDM with the 1030 EMA crossover at 75.40. It's 77.38. It's up 0.35% on the day and also up on the trade. IWB, Steve Burns bought IWB with the 1050 EMA crossover at 251.40. It's 256.92. It's up 0.5% today and nicely up on the trade. Square having a big day here for the dynamic duo. They bought this with the 520 crossover at 251.97. It's 261.79. It's up 3.45% today on the day and beautifully up on the trade. Zoom keeps zooming on up here for Tom and Michael Martin. They bought this triple bottom bullish divergence under 30 over 30 was the trigger, 256.74. This is up 1.55% today and beautifully up on the trade. XLRE up a little bit. Leva bought this all the way back here with the under 30 over 30 at 44.86. It's 47.71. So this is beautifully up on the day, up on the trade. Those entry signals back then worked fantastic. AGQ has been a monster trade for Ava here. Ava had an under 30 over 30 all the way at 30.26. It's 39.42. It's up 1.91% on the day, and this trade for Ava up 23.31%. So let's get Ava a hand, because that is one of the biggest trades I've seen in a while. Frank bought Tell all the way back here at 337. Looks like a V1 in the value zone. It's 3.80. It's up 6.74% on the day, and of course beautifully up on the trade. MPWR having a big day here for the dynamic duo. About the 520 crossover at 489.83. It's 524.65. So beautiful move up on the day of 2.68% and nicely up on the trade as well. TNA, I believe, is Ava. Ava bought TNA, return to value in the value zone. Looks like it was a V1, bought at $87. It's 95.14. It's up 2.77%. So she's doing very well on that. Congratulations, Ava. EQIX, Ava and Leva bought EQIX with this under 30, over 30, under the 200, over the 200. They bought it at 750.30. It's 822.74. It's up 0.21% today and up on the trade. SPXL is Steve Burns, bought the 530 EMA crossover on triple leverage SPY at 119.25. This has been a monster run. It's up 1.51% on the day and up on the trade. PayPal finally did find a bottom bounce today. Do I have anyone in PayPal? I don't have anyone in PayPal. I'm not even sure why I have that on the list. All right. Here is Lily. Lily was bought by Michael Martin, under 30, over 30, under the negative third, over the negative third, bought at 232.08. It is up 0.6% today. So Michael is up nicely on Eli Lilly on the day and also the trade. Nike keeps moving up for Jonathan, under 30, over 30, rejection of the 200-day moving average. Nailed this at 147. It's 164.14, up 0.4% today, and a monster trade for Jonathan. And then last but not least, INSP. Beautiful trade here by the dynamic duo, 520 crossover at 239.63. It's 260.82. It's down 1.22% on the day, but nicely and beautifully up on the trade. Okay, let me catch a little breather there. Michael is here. Good to see you, Lova. Tom is here. Hi, traders. Good to see you, Tom. Steve says DocuSign has a 1030 EMA crossover. Let me go over to my 1030 charts and take a look here. Yes, it definitely does. It has a 1030 pink line crossing there. For me, however, I can't take this trade. I have a rule. If I'm at the second ATR channel, it's a little high for me. In this last move up there, that rule that I have has definitely cost me money. But, you know, we play the percentages, and I just know percentage-wise, when you get up to that second ATR channel, you know, 92% of prices fail at the third. So it affects how I think about the risk to reward ratios. This may keep going up. If you guys take it, I certainly hope it does. But for me, that's just a rule, right? If I break the rule, what do I have? So my rule is if it's above the second ATR channel, I don't take it. Okay. All right. All right, let me take care of a little business over here. All right, give me one sec, everyone. I saw a poem from Frank, so we've got to get into that. Okay, here we go. All right, here's today's poem from Frank. I haven't read it yet, but I know it's going to be good. Let me copy it, paste it over here so I can share that later. All right, here we go, everyone. Choose wisely. 2 words we see posted online. Simple yet deep and self-defined. Look within yourself and the answer you will find, but first seek the knowledge that opens your mind. I post that every day, Frank. That's my post every day. I do a post every day that says choose wisely. Traders, choose wisely. Let's read it one more time. Choose wisely. 2 words we see posted online. Simple yet deep and self-defined. That's what I thought. Look within yourself and the answers you will find, but first seek the knowledge that opens your mind. Oh man, how good is that? How good is that, everyone? Can we all thank Frank? That's just amazing. Just amazing. It's just amazing that Frank, just has this literal gift that allows him to be able to make these poems. And I mean, they're fantastic poems, and they're always so pertinent to what's going on. I'm always amazed by it, for sure. So thank you so much, Frank. Okay. So real quick, Cisco. I will be selling Cisco today for a loss with a 520 cross under. That's the signal. CVA, I will also be selling for a loss, at least right now. It is back under my 200, but that's the key, right? Keeping your risk small, getting out when you're supposed to. If this closes under the 200, I will get out. KLAC is fine, will be a keeper. Pfizer is fine, will be a keeper. Roku, 5 is still above the 20. Don't have to do anything there. SPY, of course, I will be buying SPY at the close, holding it overnight. Visa, doing great, doing fine, breaking out over these previous highs here. No profit targets, but nicely up on the day, nicely up on the trade. And then XLU, gonna have to watch XLU as well, actually. XLU has moved up nicely. We got to 1.5 ATR trailing stop level, but this may close below. Let's see, the low 66.94, and it is right there. So I'm going to have to keep an eye 66.94 to look for selling half on XLU. So let me make sure I have what I need to have here. Cisco, yes, going to get out of Cisco. CVNA, currently going to get out of there. KLAC is fine. Okay, so that just basically leaves XLU to watch that level. So I always put a little blue marker here if it's, could be an end of day decision. So Cisco has a blue marker, yes. CVNA has a blue marker, yes. And XLU. Sometimes at the end of the day, things are moving quickly and you have to, you can put yourself in a position where you definitely could make mistakes. I actually made one last week, so I kind of color code things to help me out a little bit. David, is earnings tomorrow? Why is that not on my chart? Oh, it is. Is that after the bell, Dave? Do you know? Let's see. I think yeah, if somebody wouldn't mind letting me know if earnings are before or after the bell tomorrow, that would be really helpful for me. I just looked, I couldn't find it with a quick search. Steve says, Pins has returned to earth today. I'm glad we all locked in profits on that peak day. Yours says aftermarket. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Thank you, Tracy. What are we looking at? Pins? Yeah, this is, whoa. This is a really good example of why I always like to take advantage of big up bars. There's nothing wrong if you have a huge big up bar like that to lock in a little profits. I remember Linda Raschke. I remember Dr. Alexander Elder, trying to pound into my head. When you have big up moves like this, you have to take advantage of them and at least take portion of the profit off. And that's why I do that with every single one of my trades. And that is why I have intraday profit targets. Dave says after, it seems. Okay, good. So we'll have to get rid of that. We'll have to get rid of that on tomorrow before the bell. All right, everybody. So listen, before we start looking at potential end of day trades, I do want to talk a little bit about trader psychology. It is the most important skill that you will ever learn. I have a lot of Facebook traders and educators that I like to pull from on Twitter, on Facebook. Of course, my favorite is Stephen Burns, who's in the chat with us right now. You can follow Steve over at Joseph Burns over on Twitter. Anything that Steve does is worth reading, worth internalizing and implementing in your trading. So whenever I see a post from Steve, I like to talk about it once, twice a week. And this is a great one because this one really hits home to me because this is where trading all starts for me. Position sizing drives a trader psychology more than any factor. Position sizing drives a trader psychology more than any factor. And it's true, everyone. Everything starts with position size. You have two things that are in your control with trading. How many shares you buy and when you buy them. After that, it is not up to you. The market's going to carry you around and do whatever it wants to you. So if you do have some things that are in control, your control, don't you think that would probably be an important thing to pay attention to? And position sizing is hugely important. If you buy one share of something, it's going to be easy to stick with your plan, right? Because the dollar amounts are not big, so it doesn't amplify your emotions. If you buy a huge position in something and it barely moves to the upside or the downside, you're like, should I lock it in? You can't trade that way. You have to have you have to have a plan that you follow, and that is why position sizing to me is the most important. It has to be a big enough position that it can make a difference in your account, but if you take a small loss with that position, that it's not going to annihilate your account and hurt you financially. So position sizing is super important. And as I've said many times before, in my experience, the very best way to position size is to take your maximum allowed loss. 1% of your total capital is a good starting point If you had $100,000, 1% of your capital would be your maximum allowed loss. Now that's the worst case scenario. It doesn't happen very often, but what I do is I take whatever that 1% is, 1% of 100,000 is $1,000. I divide that by the value of the 2 ATR. In this case on Pinterest, it's 5.67 divided by 5.67. And that tells me to buy 1,000, nope. Make sure you always double check your math. Divided by 5.67, that tells me to buy 176 shares. Seems like a random amount of shares, but what it's doing is it's using a 2 ATR as your maximum allowed stop. It's hard to get a stock to move 2 ATRs, but if you do, you're absolutely 100% wrong on your trade. So it adjusts for the current market volatility. If the market volatility is low, it's going to have you buy more shares. If it's high, it's going to have you buy fewer shares. So it auto adjusts for whatever the volatility is doing. And if you're wrong with your maximum allowed loss and you lose $1,000 out of $100,000, it's unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. It's a small percentage. So my favorite way is to take my maximum allowed loss, which good rule of thumb is 1% of your capital. If you have $50,000, then 500, right, is going to be your maximum allowed loss. Divided by whatever the value is of the 2 ATR, that will tell you how many shares to buy. Now, only about 5% of the time will you ever hit your emergency loss, but you have to have a certain point where if you're wrong, you're just like, I'm wrong, I can't fight it, this is it, I just have to take my loss, this is what I decided, and that's your maximum allowed loss, your emergency stop. But most of the time, we have end of day stops, which are much, much, much closer. So about 95% of the time, you're going to get out with your end of day stop. You're not going to get out with the maximum allowed loss of $1,000, but you have to have that there just in case. I don't know. I've hit 7, 8, 9 maximum allowed losses this year, you know, out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trades. So that 5% number is about right. But you do have to have an uncle point where you're just plain wrong, where you have to say, look, I don't care, it could bounce from here, but this is my maximum allowed loss, and that 1% loss is pretty good, and then divide that by the value of the 2 ATR. So anyway, I hope that helps. I think this is a great post. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you for everything that you do for this channel. But let's read it one more time. It's that important. Position sizing drives a trader's psychology more than any other factor. And if something's going to drive your psychology, it's going to affect your trading. That is why having a conservative position size based upon the current market volatility is so important. So that's very helpful for me to remember that, Steve, and to read this here. Thank you for that, and I hope it was helpful for everyone else in the group. Steve says, trading too big is an expensive ego problem. Yes, it is. 100% correct. And it is an expensive thing to do. Even if you really feel like you're right, it's not the smart thing to do for sure. Hey, 1 second. I've got to jump up here, grab something real quick. It got away from me, and I will be right back. Give me about 15 seconds. Okay. All right. Steve says PKI has a 530. Do I have a 530? Oh, I do. How about that? Yes, it does. At PKI, Perkin-Elmer does have a 530 crossover. MACD is green. It's not above the second ATR channel. Look over on the weekly. We're finding resistance there at that 1 ATR channel, but not too bad. But yes, very good. And let's put that on the list. Okay. Yeah, that Pinterest. Glad we took advantage of that. When everyone, when everyone wants to buy something, I want to sell something. When everyone wants to sell something, I want to buy something. Of course, dependent upon levels and actual triggers and so forth. Bitcoin having a big day up today. Look at that. I mean, we had a little bit of a pullback, but right back up. All right, let's take a look at PLTR. PLTR is has a close under, close back over the 200-day moving average. Also has a fractal. Here's a high with two lower highs to the left. Here's a high with two lower highs to the right. Did reject the 50 SMA, which is a bit concerning. It went under 50, over 50, has a MACD crossover. That all looks good. If we look over on the weekly is above the 50 SMA. This big old bar here, though, 4 or 5 weeks ago, in my experience, when you get to halfway of a big bar like that, it's probably going to offer some kind of resistance, but let's take a look. So yeah. So right now, if I based off the weekly, if I look at the reward, it's from here to here. My risk is from here to the 200-day moving average. Had a 520 crossover as well. I like the sideways motion. I like the fractal. I just don't know if the risk to reward is really a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So with that being said, I'm going to let that one go. SPCE, which is space, did have an no, it did not. It did not have an under 30 over 30, did it? Yes, I think Friday it may have. Working on a V2, but that V2 is not there anymore, rejection, so I'm going to let that one go as well. PagerDuty, big move up here today. Under 200, over 200. MACD is positive, under 50, over 50. This looks pretty strong. Weekly looks pretty good. In the value zone, we are about halfway of that big bar, though, back on the week of 10/1 October. I think it's a little chasey, honestly. BIIB has an under 30, over 30. It has a higher low under 30, over 30, which is good. It also has an RSI divergence here, 34, 35. That is within my wheelhouse. I don't want to really buy it much over 35. Let's take a look at the weekly. Weekly bounced off the negative third ATR channel. That looks pretty good. 600,000 shares traded. Not too bad. But then again, we're right back down here at this halfway of this big down bar, and now we're stuck right about halfway. So again, that concerns me a little bit. PKI, Steve talked about the 530 EMA crossover. Did reject the second ATR channel, so for me, not able to do that. INCY, big move up today. I don't really see a clear signal here. Let's look over on the weekly. Right up against that 5 EMA. We have earnings, so I think I'll let that one go. Trex has a higher low V1 in the value zone. This could be a potential. Let's look at the weekly. We're at halfway of that big down bar, so I'm gonna have to let that one go as well. Ozone has a nice higher low V2 here. Here is day 1, here is day 2. 2 washes out 1, 3 is above day 1's close. Unfortunately, we have this huge gap here. I don't buy V2s if there's a gap larger than a quarter ATR, and that seems to be the case. ILMN has a fractal. Here's the high with 2 lower highs to the left, 2 lower highs to the right. Also has a V2. Here's day 1, 2, 3. Also has an under 200, over 200, which looks really good. Weekly is right up against the 50. That concerns me a little bit as well. It's probably one of my favorite ones. MasterCard has a close under, close back over the 200-day moving average, but Visa's earnings are tomorrow. I'm sure that's going to impact those. So I'm going to have to pass on MasterCard. Hyatt Hotels has a nice return to value, 2 days of sideways motion and a V1. This one clearly, in my opinion at the moment, this one makes the most sense. Return to value, sideways motion, false breakout to the downside with the V1 looks pretty good. It's got back over the 1 ATR channel over on the weekly. So Hyatt is my favorite at the moment, and SNA has an under 250, over 250. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly has the 50-week moving average above it. So right now, Hyatt, for me at least, is the best looking setup for me today. All right, so again, I am getting rid of Cisco today. What do we have? 142. I'll wait a few more minutes. CVNA, I guess it's possible it could close back over. And then XLU, I'm looking for a close below the previous day's low, which has not happened yet. But Hyatt Hotels, this return to value, sideways motion, V1 makes the most sense to me at the moment. David says DE has a 520 crossover and currently above the 200-day SMA. Yes, it does. Let me see if I can back test that and see if we get any results on that. No, I can't bet. I cannot back test Snap. I don't know if anyone has the ability to back test a 520 crossover. And also a close over the 200-day moving average. You could back test the close under, close over. I'm not able to do that. Let's take a look at the weekly, though. Weekly looks pretty strong in the value zone up above all the moving averages. So that's good. B says Bitcoin is a scam with a smiley face. Tracy Hall says MA earnings of the morning of 28th as well. So Visa tomorrow, earnings after the bell. I'm going to have to lock in profits on that one. Cisco, I'm going to get out of Cisco. CVNA, I'm going to have to wait and see if that closes under. And then XLU, waiting to see if that closes under 66.94. And so far it is holding. And then I do like H, just as long as we close above yesterday's close. Yesterday's close was 82.72. So I'll mark that level. So Cisco I have to keep an eye on. CVNA I have to keep an eye on. XLU I have to keep an eye on, and then I will be buying H as long as it closes above 82.72. Mike says BIIB, does it have a MACD double bottom bullish divergence and ATR DDB? BIIB. Does it have a MACD double bottom bullish divergence? It does. Here's the low with deep red MACD bars. It rallies to green. It comes back down. It has less red. That's the double bottom with the bullish divergence. That is for sure. It does have a RSI divergence, meaning that the lows here and the RSI readings here were very low. Now we are lower than that. They are less low. So yes, that, let's see. ATR divergence it does not have, But it's legitimate. There's no doubt about it. It is a legitimate entry with an under 30, over 30, with all of that stuff, for sure, for sure. The only thing I don't like about it, Mike, is the big move down bar here, and we've rallied and we've rejected the 50. Does that make sense to you? Steve says, Snap 520 EMA crossover back tests. Ooh, were we looking at Snap? I don't think we were looking at Snap. It was, I think it was BII. Which one was it, everybody? Anybody remember? Oh, ILMN. ILMN. No. The Trex. Oh, it was DE. It was DE. It was Deere and Company. The 520 crossover and close over the 200. Steve says Facebook earnings after the bell should send Snap flying in one direction or the other. That is true. PLTR. Yeah, I looked at that one earlier. Has a 520 crossover, has a fractal. It's not bad. It's really not bad at all. The only thing was the big down bar that we had. That's MIR 5696. We had the big down bar. We should find resistance at halfway of that. So when I go here and I do the risk to reward ratio, I look at the theoretical reward up here, from here to here, and I look at the risk from with the close under the 200-day moving average. Look, this is legitimate. For sure, this is legitimate. It has a 520 crossover, it has a fractal. I'm just looking at the halfway bar based upon the weekly, and I think I'm just going to pass on that. But it's up nicely today for sure. But that's a legitimate entry. Everything looks good. Under 50, over 50, MACD's positive. Breakout of a fractal after sideways motion, close under 200, over 200. It's just that, you know, I put a lot of importance on the risk to reward of a trade, and I guess it is 2-to-1, but I prefer the H because it has a very good risk to reward ratio. It's been an uptrend. It's pulled back to the value zone. It has sideways motion. Oh, Steve Burns says DE has a great back test on the 520. Thank you, Steve. And Steve's using TrendSpider to do that back test. So it has a 520 crossover, has a close over the 200-day moving average. So that looks like it makes sense. All right, we have about 12 minutes to go. Two, 328. Can I? Hey, VJ, good to see you, and you're welcome, Mir. PayPal. Well, I don't, you know, we had the big down move on PayPal. We have rallied, but the price action of this bar is not positive. We're below the open. We couldn't get to the 50, I'm sorry, to the 250-day moving average. I don't think I would buy PayPal here. I would wait for at least some stability, look for some kind of legitimate V1, V2 trigger, or possibly a retest of the under 30, over 30. But right now, this looks very, very volatile. Steve says, correction, DE only backtests well over the past year. TrendSpider set the new default for 1 year. Overall data, not great. 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, 36% win rate. Steve says, I must now enter all manual dates. Okay, well, thanks for doing that, bud. Thanks for the extra effort. All right, I've got to get rid of some things here. Cisco has got to go. So Cisco is gone. CVNA is still holding. There's a possibility it's going to hang. So I'm going to get here, get out of Cisco. All right, Cisco is gone. XLU currently looks like it's holding, so I will be a keeper of that. And so CVNA is what I have to look for. And I am buying H today, by the way. Yep, buying H. So we have Facebook after the earnings. That should definitely be interesting. Oh, H looks like it's struggling here. Still holding that V1. CVNA could possibly close back above the 200, so that's good to know. So what I'm watching right now is XLU. It is holding the previous day's low, in which case I will keep it. If it closes under, I am out of there. CVNA under 200. I think I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of CVNA right now. I can always re-enter if it closes over. All right, so Cisco is gone, CVNA is gone. Gonna have to watch XLU here, and I'll probably just go ahead and buy H right now. Tom says, Steve, how far do you typically back test? All right, we have 5 minutes to go to make our decisions. I did buy H with this return to value V1. I did get rid of CVNA. And I did get rid of Cisco. Still watching XLU. It's right there, photo finish 66.94 at 66.97, so I'm going to have to factor that in. So if this does close below 66.94, I will get out of half of my position. Right now it's 66.95. 165. Okay. Now it's under. Interesting that Apple's down 22 cents today on a huge update on the NASDAQ. That's interesting. XLU is now under yesterday's low of 66.94, so in which case I will sell half. Right there, photo finish. It's respecting that low of yesterday's low. It's under now, so if it stays under, I will sell half. And great, my streaming went off. All right. Let's see if I can get it to come back up, hopefully. Whew, that's a relief. What about MMM? Kamal likes BIIB. Oh. Sorry, I'm going to have to pay attention to XLU and get rid of XLU. Sorry about that. We have 2 minutes to go. Oh, there we go. It's okay. It's a higher low V1 in the value zone, although there is earnings tomorrow, so please keep that in mind, whoever asked me that. All right, I am going to lock in half profits on XLU. So it looks like it's closing below Friday's low. All right, so that's done. All right, so I did sell Cisco. I'm out of Cisco. I took the loss on Cisco. I did sell CVNA. I took the loss on CVNA. XLU, I did go ahead and sell half and lock in half profits on that. Beyond Meat making a high on the day. Good. Glad to see that. Tracy has earnings in the morning. Good to know. Thank you. George says thank you. You are welcome, George. All right, so it looks like we're all good. All right, we have about 2 seconds to go. All right, so that's the bell. Let's take a look here and see where I bought my stuff. All right, I bought H at 83.03. And where is my SPY? Did I not get a SPY today? Oh, there it is. 455.55. Okay, so H, nice return to value V1, almost picture perfect. Bought that at 83.03. My stop on this will be closed below halfway the washout bar. So that risk to reward ratio is really good. Right about there is going to be my risk. So that's a great risk to reward ratio, good structure. And then S&P, bought the S&P at 455.55 for the overnight SPY trade. Sell that one regardless, first thing tomorrow. So if any of my students have any new entries or exits for me today, they would like me to update on the board, this would be the time to do it. Just go ahead, put them in the live stream chat, and I will get those updated in a moment. Before I do that, just want to remind everybody that I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time via Skype. I love to teach. I think I'm a great teacher. I teach a great course. I know that. It's a one-on-one course, just you and I in the evening time via Skype. It's 5 lessons. Each lesson is 3 hours. It's a total of 15 hours of one-on-one instruction. I teach you all 5 of the different trading approaches that I use. I teach you step by step. If you take this course, I know you're going to be a better trader. That's all there is to it. That's all I can say. I've had many students from around the world. I've seen them blossom as traders. So I think I teach really good content. The course does cost $1,750. It's a lot of money, but it's worth every penny. And I promise you, it will make you a better trader. So if you are interested, please just send me an email. The email's in the link of the description of this YouTube video, and just say, Greg, I'm potentially interested in taking your course. I will reply and say that's fantastic. Let's set up a Skype call. The Skype call is free. All I want to do is learn more about you, your trading, your challenges, your goals. It's a good time for you to ask me any questions about the course. And after the call, think about it as long as you want. And then one day, if you decide today's the day, I really do want to take a step to become a better trader, email me back. We'll get it all scheduled and away we'll go. Secondly, if you like online courses, I do have a great online course called the Deep Dip by Stock Trading Strategy. I use this strategy all the time. It's one of my very favorite ones. You can find it at udemy.com, and I do have a link in this description of this video that will take you right there. It's 9.5 hours of video. It's 15 study guides. It's 26 videos total. And it's a great course. I've had so many good reviews and feedback from around the world, and it's super affordable. It's like $12 or $15 depending on the day that you buy it on Udemy. And if you want to start somewhere for a really affordable price, that is the place to start, and the link's in the description. And then lastly, if you like today's podcast, I would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It helps to build the channel, helps to keep the channel around, lets YouTube know that there's some valuable content here. And so if you did learn something positive or anything that was helpful today or in the past, please just hit the thumbs up button. That's all I ask, and I think it will make a big difference with the channel. So, okay, let's take a look and see where everybody did some business today. Steve Burns exited Apple under yesterday's low. Okay, so Steve Burns exited Apple. All right, good. Keep those losses small, Steve. That's the way. That's why he's the master. Steve entered DocuSign. DOCU. Steve entered DocuSign at 277.75. Good. All right. Let's put this on here. And what do we have it at? 277.75. Okay, good for you, Steve. Let's put on there, Steve. And that's what the 1030 EMA cross. Okay. Tracy is out of CVNA. Dynamic duo. Good. Keep those losses small. Didn't pick up anything else today. Gary is also out of CVNA. Frank says, out of Cisco, kid. And took a quarter position and snap. All right. Cisco Kid. I like it. It's a deep pull there, and I love it. All right, and let's go over to Snap. Okay, and that's a quarter position in Snap. I like how you adjusted for the volatility of the earnings with the quarter position, Frank. That's smart. 1/4. All right, good luck on that one. Okay, Kamal is out of Boeing, and that was on Thursday. Okay. Out of Boeing. And in BIIB. BIIB. BIIB, where are you? Here we go. And that's Kamal, 269.90. 269.90. All right. Okay. David is out of CVNA. David says, I noticed Exxon has earnings before the open on Friday, and we have that one on the weekly time frame. Yeah, monthly time frame, actually, Dave. So yeah, I will be selling that before Friday. Michael says, out of all Facebook after a good day trade. All right, so out of Facebook, was that our only Facebooker? No. Ava has Facebook as well. Out of CVNA, so that one's gone. Out of 1/2 of XLU. Okay. Same with me. And also got into H with Lava. Okay, good luck to us on that one, Lava. Bacon Bandit is out of Cisco. Out of CVNA. Oh, okay, and in H. Okay. Tom is out of Cisco with a 520 cross under. Mike says, I kept trying to make BIIB look better than Hyatt. I did the right thing despite my emotions wanting BIIB. Yeah, I know you wanted that. Yep, I know you wanted that, bud. So it looks like Facebook is up 2.79% after hours. H unchanged, KLAC unchanged. Qs are probably up a little bit. Yep, up 25 cents. SPY is up down 12 cents. Interesting. Visa's unchanged. VIX is unchanged. Okay, let me pop over here and take a look. Facebook misses on third quarter revenue is the headline that I see. Well, that's why you never quite know with earnings. Here you have something that was missed and it's up. Sometimes it beats and it's down. So always kind of an interesting concept. All right. So listen, if you have any other questions, anything that you'd like to contribute, any questions, anything you like at all, go ahead, put it in the live stream now. Before we get to that, I just like to read this. It's a daily paragraph, I guess, or saying that I really like. But if we all do one random act of kindness daily, we just might set the world in the right direction, by Martin Kornfeld. And something I try to do every day, I would suggest considering doing it in your life. It's nice if you do something nice for someone. I mean, I always try. You know what I mean? I always try. If I see someone that needs a little help with this, or they can't do this by themselves, like, I try, right? It doesn't make me a hero or anything. It's just a good thing that I think makes the world a better place if you can try to do one nice thing for another human being every day. It doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to cost money. It can just be as easy as just, saying hi or being pleasant. And if you could also do that for an animal, that would be twice as good. I was raised with animals. I know animals very well. They appreciate any kind of act of kindness as well. So if we all do one random act of kindness daily, we just might set the world in the right direction, by Martin Kornfeld. So consider that. Consider incorporating that into your life. All right, so we took care of Tom, we took care of Bacon Bandit, we took care of Mike. Took care of Gary, took care of Kamal, took care of Steve. I think we got it all, actually. Boy, it's raining here like crazy, so I don't know if I'll make it out in the mountains. Maybe I'll head to the gym. That'll be a good change of pace. I am doing some coaching tonight. I'm doing some swimming coaching. I used to teach swimming. I swam in college and worked with a lot of triathletes and so forth. And a friend of mine, his son qualified for the Xterra Worlds, and strong biker, strong runner, not so hot tamale on the swimming. So I'm heading up to our local college tonight and work with him. And hopefully it can help him out a little bit today or this evening. All right, does anyone have any other input, anything they'd like to know, any jokes? If you do, this would definitely be the time to do it. All right, well, that looks like it's probably a wrap today. Thank you for coming today, everyone. Hope you have a good day. Hope you get out there, drive safe, be nice to others. Try to do something nice for someone. Dave says, have a great rest of your day, team. Thank you. Thank you as well, David. Hope you are doing well. And let's meet back here tomorrow during the last hour of the market, and we'll deal with what the market has in mind for us. Okay, thanks again for coming. Really appreciate it. If you could hit that thumbs up button before you leave, I would appreciate that. So have a great one, everyone. Take care, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity.